Hey guys, it's that time again to tell your ma to keep it down. The boys are on. And please remember to subscribe or you're going to make Toast to cry. I hear people who microdose every day. I hear all the time, they're like, man, I ate way too much today. Well, they say it all the time. It's like, how does the dosing work for you? Anyways,
way too much, but they're still going about their day driving. It's just like, I noticed that I'm a little bit high.
Yeah, like if I eat an extra ibuprofen, like my tummy hurts a little bit. Yeah. Meanwhile, homeboy's just seeing extra cars while he's driving, like just reacting to ghosts. I've driven on hallucinogens before.
Oh yeah, it's not
good.
fun.
It's scary.
It's scary as fuck. I'm blind. I don't know if I was blind at the time. I go through sagas with my eyes. I remember I was in New York. I was high as fuck, lost as fuck, didn't know where I was going, and on a bunch of, I think it was mushrooms that day. And yeah, I fucking couldn't find where I was going. That was my most high. I've done it a few times. I'm not proud of it.
It's all right.
Yeah.
We do things.
Yeah.
One of my favorite acid stories ever. I haven't told it in a while. Not a joke, but like one time I used to like get rid of it, and my one buddy calls me up, right, and he's like, "Yo, I just found out that Matt's been effing my girl. My friend Matt was screwing this girl. He's like, can I come over and grab a couple strips from you? Like 10 hits of acid, a couple strips.
That's what you do about it when you find out you're getting...
So my immediate reaction was like, hey, maybe that's not the best reaction to this situation, you know what I'm saying? But I was also like on day 10 of tripping and just trying to focus on making a sandwich. So I was like, yeah, dude, sure, come over. So I get back, I hang up the phone, I start making a sandwich, dude. But like, dude, it started getting like way high. It got like a foot high because it's just ridiculous.
So like tripping. A Lilo and Stitch sandwich.
Yeah, like my mom just got way too much lunch meat. I'm using it all. I'm like 17, and then all of a sudden, like my friend, like he comes in now, and I was like, oh, dude, you're finally here. He's like, hey, you got those? Like, you sure you want these? He's like, yeah. I was like, how many? He's like 2 strips. He's like, all right. And I gave him 20 hits, and they put them both under his tongue. I was like, all right. And I've seen him do that much before because he's stayed up for like a week at a time with me, done that type of stuff. But I was like, I know this guy's been eating this stuff like on the daily. I was like, that's a lot for someone who hasn't tripped in like a couple months. And I was like, all right, well, anyways, dude, I'll see you later. So he just left. Anyway, so I go back to making my sandwich, and all of a sudden my buddy's been hanging out with me all day. Mike, he comes in, he's like, yo, just so you know, Raj is beating Matt up in the street. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, Matt's here, and he's beating Raj. Raj is beating him up. I'm like, why is Matt here? He's like, Raj apparently made Matt drive him here to get that. I was like, Matt, the guy who's bagging his girl, Raj made him drive him here. He's like, yeah. So then he just went outside and started trying to beat Matt up. So Matt started running down the street, and Raj hopped in his car and chased him down. And now the car is blocking the road, and Raj is beating Matt up in the middle of the road. And I was like, what? So I go outside, and I walk out my driveway, and I look down the road, and the car is parked, blocking the lanes of traffic. And Raj, this Indian dude, is just beating this kid Matt up right in the road. And I was like, man, I can't deal with this right now. I'm tripping. I got to go back inside. And I go back inside and make my way to the kitchen, and my sandwich is gone. That sandwich is gone, dude. And I was like, what happened to my sandwich, dude? And I was like, and to this day, I've told the story, but I don't know what happened to the sandwich. I don't even know if it was real, but I didn't think it was real because pretty sure I spent 2 hours on it just standing in the kitchen like.
No, you don't spend 2 hours on a real sandwich.
I don't know. I feel like I spent 2 hours of real time there. Maybe it was 2 hours of fake time. But that was a thing that happened. But yeah, dude, Matt got his butt kicked by Raj.
Dude, beating a guy up on acid must be the greatest feeling ever.
Dude, it was like, he literally walked out my door. He wasn't even tripping. He just walked out the door and then just like immediately went to go kick this kid's butt and then steal his car in the process, and it was great.
He wasn't tripping?
Like he was like, I just gave him the stuff. He walked outside. It was just in my driveway.
Dude, well, it makes sense that he won the fight on acid, but like, if I was confident I could win a fight, I would wait till the acid kicked in. I'd like hang out with him for 45 minutes, and then I'd beat him up. And I'd probably get so hard that I'd jizzed on his face at the end.
Yeah, I feel like I haven't gotten in a fight. Not, I haven't gotten in a fight on acid. And I don't think you get hard on acid either, by the way. That's not a thing that happens.
Me either.
But maybe if you're on acid and then the victory of a fight kicks in, you get so aroused, you get hard. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm sure I could ask somebody about that.
I wouldn't fight on acid. I do acid to fucking eat food and do yoga, but I did my first comedy show on acid.
Okay, how'd that go?
I destroyed.
Okay.
Well, I'd spent the night before selling most of the audience acid. But it was like 400 people at Well Cafe Live. I had no business being on the show.
It's a whole crowd on acid?
Not the whole crowd, but a lot of them. And
that makes sense, because like no one's going to think someone on acid is funny unless they are on acid. That's
I came out with the energy.
Came out with that acid energy.
I had that dog in me.
That's good. I'm just imagining like you're like thought it was like everyone like standing up and cheering and like the lights shining on you and people like rock music playing you off, and it was like Manny, Manny, Manny. But it was actually just you just bombing and everyone just booing, and just like reality's not even set in. It's just an alternate universe. Basically, you're just tripping your balls off, and you're like, yeah, it went great. And it was awful, but you're just that's kind of what I'm imagining. No, I'm sorry. I just went.
No, that's fair. I have bombed a lot more since then. Makes me feel I should do ask more. I used to. Are you sure
that's not? Yeah, no. Actually, I back that up.
Yeah, no. I used to do like half a tab of acid on days when I had a date later. Like I felt like I was so much more charming if I'm a little bit pig. Like, I was making fun of microdoses earlier, but, like, the only thing is, it's an all-day thing, so, like, I get nothing done at work, because I take it at lunchtime, and then by the time it was, like, the first date, I'd be, like, in a great mood, I'd be kind of sweating, and I'm just like, hey, let's have fun. And
I like how you're, like, microdosing gay.
But
I used to take some acid just to go on a date.
Yeah.
So funny. That's so funny. You're like, yeah, microdosing for losers. I use acid as Viagra.
It's my social lubricant.
Dude, that's not the case. Acid can't be the social. Like liquor makes sense. Well, acid is not the social lubricant. There's never been like a group of people where someone just walked in on acid and like, "What's up, guys?" And like everyone's like, "Oh, I'm glad this guy's here." Like, what's this genius going to talk about? Never been the case.
I know what you're saying, but I'm built different. I understand completely.
And if someone walks up to me, like lost on acid, generally I'm like, we need to get this person home ASAP.
I'm never lost on acid. I always know exactly where.
I know exactly where I'm at.
I am my true self.
I have gotten lost. I have gotten lost on acid in a neighborhood I knew real well, and I just got lost and scared. It was bad. I made my way back though. It's all right.
Nice.
Lost is scary though.
Yeah. I find my way home. Getting lost, it's a nice adventure. I'm also blind as shit, so I get lost a lot. I'm used to it. I get lost and I lose things.
Do you do like that prayer? Do you like, dear Saint Anthony, please come around? I lost my keys, you know?
No, I don't believe in the pagan gods.
Yeah, I would just use that as an example, of course. I'm not saying to use that one.
No, I'm just like, oh shit.
Do you use like a witch charm or something? I don't know.
Fucking.
Just using it as an example.
I lick my finger. I feel which way the wind's blowing. I smell the air, and I start tracking my way home.
Okay, yeah.
I do it by scent.
Yeah, see, that makes sense. Like, yeah, some people like cut their wrists and use blood on the ground, and then they offer to the gods, and they find their way home. Like, that's what I was asking.
I taste a little bit of the dirt, and I'm like, that feels like South Philly. And then I go in a different direction, and based on the taste of the dirt, I can tell if I'm going north or south.
I just close my eyes and do a wolf howl, and I listen for the echo and find my way due north.
I go by the stars.
Yeah, well, people do that. That's a thing people do.
Yeah, not me.
There's like tricks to it. I watched a video on it. Didn't retain any of the knowledge.
Well, you seem like you watch videos on a lot of weird stuff.
Oh, dude, I got into spelunking videos recently, where people like go into like water, like cave diving, scuba diving, and then they die.
Oh, do you watch them die?
You don't get to watch them die. Well, there's a couple where, you get to watch it. But it's mostly it's like kind of like a horror. It's like horror podcast kind of thing, like a horror mystery, like murder mystery kind of setup. Except these people just go into a cave and they die. It's scary.
Do they tell stories in the cave, or
no? It's people telling stories about how these people went in and died.
Okay, so it's someone else and
they thought it was this way out, but it wasn't that way. They ended up going into this one, and soon enough, that cabin was flooded and they died. You know?
Yeah, it's true crime for men.
Yeah. It's soap operas with a hard on.